Hi everyone, I'm Emilia, I'm from Portugal and I joined Enge last semester. For the past 2 semesters I've been learning about Ahmad. And yeah, I'm here to tell you a little bit about him. And I guess one of the first questions that I had with this project was understanding like how can I tell you about someone who I've never met personally. Um, but I think I felt that with interest from wanting to get to know Ahmad, and wanting to track down like what he publishes and what he cares about and asking questions and having conversations, um, it is possible to get to know someone virtually, and to build an intimate relationship. So Ahmad's grandparents are from Lebanon, and they went to Brazil before his parents were born. So his parents and him were all born in Brazil. And one of the first things I learned about Ahmad was that when he was small, he experienced many times near death experiences. So the first time when he was 4, he fell off a balcony in his house, and he landed on top of a car, which saved his life. Later, once he went to the beach with his parents, and they told him like don't look down because if you look down you might get dizzy and fall. But he ended up doing it anyway. So he fell, and the only thing he remembers is a man saving him from the water. Sometime later, Ahmad also got like a type of chicken pox, which almost killed him, and eventually he also got electrocuted from from electricity. And I think what was most surprising to me about this is like how does someone who experienced near death experiences so many times continue living like fiercely or without fear. And the truth is that he did, because even though he fell a few times, later he going through like two cliffs, he got stuck in a zip line, and then had to be rescued, and everything was okay eventually. But I just think, how can you live so many times being close to death and still go so high, like in altitude? Yes, so Ahmad really loves plants and yellow, which was also couple of things that I heard about him first. And I think his connection with nature comes as a very important part in who he is. He introduced me once to his plants, um, and not only do the plants signify his relationship with nature, but also the way in which he sees rivers. So Ahmad, I guess rivers might represent a couple of things, um, and one of them is this relationship with traveling or with migration, because his grandparents went from Lebanon to Brazil, and him and his parents and sisters went from Brazil to Paraguay. Um, yeah, so Ahmad studies medicine and theater, and his favorite parts of the human body is the nervous system, and specifically the internal ear, which does two most important things according to him. One is decodifying all the sounds that exist around us and distinguishing them, and the other thing is maintaining balance and equilibrium. Yeah, so this conjunction of identities of being from Paraguay, from Brazil, and from Lebanon, make it so that I think he doesn't feel like he's one of them. So he is not Brazilian, he's not Paraguayan, he's not Lebanese, but he's also all of them. And after being already in Latin America, Ahmad's family tried living in Lebanon a couple of times, and recently his 2 sisters, Wafa and Fatma, survived a car accident which led them to go back to South America. And his mom had health issues as a sequel of this accident, which which keep him as well in Paraguay so that he can help her and take care of her. In being Muslim and gay, being a Muslim and gay man, I think there's Ahmad feels like an inherent contradiction in his identity, and both things kind of are a synonym of being something else, so like of an othering. And something that for me was very striking was that Ahmad introduced me to Islam and to David, his boyfriend, at the same time. And I think that was something that took him some time to make peace with, being both Muslim and gay, and finding comfort in religion, or maybe redefining it. And I think something that he advocates for is this, that we all have internal compasses, and that in his being homosexual is not wrong. So yeah, redefining what, I guess that meant redefining what religion and sexuality mean for him together, even if it seems like they're pointing at different directions. So yeah, Ahmed even says that sexual pleasure is one of the best things that can happen to someone, as it takes no substance external to oneself to experience it. And he told me about David in a very passionate way. So they met in his theater school, and so that was 3 years ago, and then he fell in love with David 2 years ago, and 1 year ago they started dating and being together. And they actually have a play together called Ahmad Amado, which happens on a river. And even though I think there's a lot that Ahmad has walked to be at peace with himself, I think this duality in the compass, in his internal compass, still take a lot of work. And I think one of the things that Ahmad suggests that we all do is think of our own internal compasses. So where do we have pointers? What do we have inside of us that points at different directions? And maybe how can our compasses assist one another? So yeah, I think theater for Ahmad has also been a way of being born again, because you kind of find all of these different lives that can exist in you or through you. And yeah, this is a bit of Ahmad's story. There's a lot more that I could tell you, and there's also a few things that I forgot. I think feel free to visit the rest of the website and the experiments that we have done. And yeah, good luck with building intimate virtual relationships. Ciao!